What up, guys? Mad Scientist 7A90 here, your favorite wrestling shooter and hip hop enthusiast. Now, back with the hip hop copper drop here. Interesting month. I'd probably say the best month for hip hop so far in 2012. You know, some really good mixtapes coming out in March, and also some really bad stuff coming out in March. But we'll get right down to it. We'll start with the drop, stuff that I would definitely say just don't waste your time on. Some of the stuff I'm going to have on here, this list is going to be a little bit longer than some of my other ones, just because there's so many mixtapes, and there's some of them are kind of like borderline, like February, early March, like late February, early March, and I couldn't really put them anywhere, so I waited too long to listen to them. So I put them on the March list. So we're going to start off here. First, we're going to start with Jakk Frost, Jakk Frost, with his mixtape Charles Barkley. You know, this was borderline. I almost wanted to put it on the cop, but I don't know. It just seemed like the production was very subpar on this. The rapping, like, he's got a really interesting voice. The rapping's okay, like lyrically he's okay, but I don't know. And he had a lot of songs like pertaining to like actually Charles Barkley, like the basketball player, which, I mean, it was kind of cool. Like, he had some, you know, tracks with like, you know, Charles Barkley talking on them, and like people talk, like announcers talking during the games about him. But I mean, there was maybe 2 tracks on here that I thought were, you know, cool tracks I'd listened to a couple times, but nothing really special. Next, got Don Trip, Guerrilla. This guy is just a horrendous lyricist. You know, he has a couple of interesting bangers on here, but other than that, I mean, I wouldn't waste my time with it. Next, Paul Wall dropped No Sleep Till Houston. You know, I think Paul Wall's kind of just on that what's hot right now kind of thing, because I know Paul Wall's not a really bad lyricist. He's, you know, and he makes some really catchy and creative songs, or he did, but a lot of this just sounds like what a lot of Gucci and Waka Flocka type songs out there right now. So I mean, I don't know, it just had a lot of, you know, same sounding, you know, banger type songs on it. Nothing really that really stuck out to me. Next, Juvenile's Mardi Gras. I don't know. This was kind of weird to me. There was one track on here I really liked. It was like something about popping champagne or something or other. I did like that track, but other than that, I mean, this is a mixtape leading into his album, which I believe comes out in April, I believe, this month, so or next month. It's coming out pretty soon, so I would expect these are just tracks that didn't make, you know, the album. But I mean, it was okay, but it's nothing, you know, really worth checking out. MGK, you know, Machine Gun Kelly, after his outstanding, just wonderful performance at WrestleMania. Hope you can sense the sarcasm there. You know, dropped an EP, Half Naked, Almost Famous EP. Just a couple of most of the tracks I've, you know, already heard. It was like 5 songs, whatever. I mean, Machine Gun Kelly is what he is. He's got a fan base. I don't really care for him that much, but he has a couple of cool songs, but nothing I would really jump or rave about. But this EP here was just, it really just was nothing, really, honestly. Unless you're a Machine Gun Kelly fan, I wouldn't waste my time on it. And then we got an interesting next album here, or mixtape. I think it's an album, actually. Or it might be a mixtape. I really don't know. I've never heard of her before, but her name is Teyana Taylor, and the album, I guess the mixtape is called The Misunderstanding of Teyana Taylor. This was kind of in the mold of like a Lauryn Hill type thing, but I don't think she's near as good of a singer as Lauryn Hill or an MC. This was just kind of too many just like singing tracks that weren't like catchy. They were kind of just boring, but I mean, they're like, she's an okay lyricist. This was an okay mixtape, but it just wasn't anything special to me, and I really, you know, I don't know. I mean, I may check out more stuff from her in the future, but I mean, this didn't really do much for me. Next we got Obie Trice, Watch the Chrome. Obviously, this is just another mixtape that, you know, that's basically coming out right before his album come out, which I actually have his album downloaded. I haven't listened to the album, but I'd listened to this mixtape. His album came out in April. Yeah, I mean, this was just him rapping over other people's beats, kind of stuff that and there was some stuff on here he probably didn't put on his album as well. A lot of these mixtapes here were free, so most of them I listened to them like once and didn't care for maybe one song on a couple of them, and then I deleted them all. And then the next final thing I would drop, you know, gonna get some flack for this one. People are just not gonna be happy, but in my personal opinion, I understand when people just like somebody as a rapper or an MC or whatever, or an artist, and they like everything they do, whether it's good or bad. They just like it, or they're just a fan. I mean, I'm a fan, but if one of my favorite MCs or artists makes a mixtape that I just didn't like, I'm gonna flat out say it. I'm not gonna be like, okay, you know, I like this guy, so I'm still gonna say you should pick it up. I mean, if you're a fan, you're obviously gonna pick this guy up. You really like him, you're obviously gonna pick it up. But this mixtape here, I was bored. I was bored with it, and it's not the content. I'm just gonna say it now. It was Big K.R.I.T, Forever and a Day. I didn't think it was as good as his last mixtape, and like I said, it wasn't because it was bad. They had good content. It's the same thing. A lot of the songs sounded a lot the same. It had good music on it, but overall, I just wasn't entertained. I just kind of was bored with it. Like, it sounded like a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same music that he's had on his last two mixtapes. I don't know. I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for it. That's just me. Like I said, I don't hate Big K.R.I.T, but this to me, I didn't think was that great. I didn't think it was as good as his last one. I think his last mixtape was the best thing he's done so far. So that's just me. But those are my drops. Take her for what it is. Like I said, Big K.R.I.T. Sorry, but I just didn't care for it, and I didn't think it was as good as his other things he's done so far. So next, we're going to get to the Cop. And I would say a pretty damn good month for some stuff to pick up. Some really interesting things. And we'll start off here. Something I would definitely say pick up. You know, I'm not a huge fan of Maybach Music Group, but what I do like is that Rick Ross lets his artist on his group, or on it, you know, basically on his label, kind of do their style of music. You know, they're hip hop, but he lets them continue to do their style of music and lets them do the kind of things they want. Stalley dropped a mixtape, The Savage Journey to the American Dream, and I liked this. I thought it had a couple of good bangers, but it also had content and good music, and it really didn't stray away from. A lot of people are really worried that you know, this Maybach Music Group, all the albums are going to sound just like Rick Ross's stuff. Wale's album that came out, Ambition, sounded nothing like a Maybach, you know, type album. Granted, it wasn't that great, but I thought this was better than Wale's album. And just because, I don't know, I like the music better. I like the actual, like the content, you know, it is what it is. But the actual music and the production I thought was better. And Stalley is an interesting MC. So I would definitely say check that out, even if you're not a fan of Maybach Music Group. Next we got Chamillionaire dropped an EP. You know, I hate it when people are always like, you know, people give Chamillionaire all kinds of flack for being that guy that had the Ridin' Dirty song and that, you know, he had one hit wonder and that was it. Chamillionaire is I would say one of the best rappers out of Texas. Lyrically, he's one of the best rappers out of Texas. He's extremely underrated as a lyricist. Also as a overall just artist and musician. I thought this EP was really good here. Looking forward to his actual album, because I know this here is basically just a little sample of what he's going to be doing. But I liked this. There's 5 tracks on here. I liked all of them. I mean, I didn't think, like, I thought a couple were really good, and I thought a couple were good but not amazing. But I didn't find anything bad on here. And Chamillionaire, like I said, is a good lyricist, and that really helped the overall quality of this EP here. So I would definitely say, if you're a Chamillionaire fan, and if you think, honestly, it really is an underrated MC. I really don't see, you know, why people don't see him as one of the better MCs in the whole game. But that's just me. Next, got the OF Tape Volume 2, Odd Future. This is how I like my Odd Future, okay? This mixtape here. I like it when Odd Future, all their people are together on one mixtape. I get really, really tired of just Tyler, the creator, all by himself on one album. I get really tired of Haji Beats. I get really tired of all these guys all on the same tracks. And these guys are just downright ignorant. And it's really entertaining. I'm not really I don't really care too much for the murder type rap of, kill this, kill that, blah, 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 blah. But this was just really entertaining, and the production was really fun. There were some really just like catchy songs on here. Like I said, I'm really not a huge fan of Odd Future, but I did like this. And, and like I said, Odd Future, they have a couple of, really solid lyricists in their group. And them as a whole making mixtapes together, I like that. But individual albums, I get burnt on them. I like them as a combination. I like them as a group. So this, I would definitely say pick this up. If you're not a Future fan, obviously you're gonna pick this up. And that is what it is. Next here we got Tech-9 dropped a EP called Klusterfuck. Great. Tech-9's been on his game the last couple of years. Like, he's been doing doing work. Like, some of the most entertaining and just clever songs. Just a really just twisted, interesting lyricist. Just his songs are just wicked. Like, this EP was great. There was a song on there called Blur that was just really cool. Like, I really thought it was a really clever song. And the rest of it was definitely pretty good. It was like 4 or 5. I believe it was like 5 tracks. Yeah, it was good. I can't wait to see another thing from Tech-9. I know that he just dropped an album last year, and then he did the Strange Music thing with a bunch of different people. I always find a bunch of really good gems in Tech-9's albums and in his mixtapes, and he always has like a couple of really cool songs that I really enjoy. And this is no different. Another good Tech-9 thing EP here, so I would definitely say that. Next on this list here, On the Cop. First time I ever really heard an actual album. I'd heard these guys on other tracks before, and I thought one of the MCs on here, Recognize, I guess is what his name is. There's no G, but it's kind of spelled all funky. Does a lot of tracks on Tech-9 and Strange Music, and I guess these guys are signed to Strange Music, and that's Mayday, and they had an album called Take Me to Your Leader. This was cool. I liked this. The best thing I can really tell you about this is, if you've never really heard of Mayday, if you've heard of Swollen Members, these guys really remind me of Swollen Members. They kind of have this rock rap kind of idea, but they also have like this really interesting sound. It's really cool and really interesting, like Tech-9 kind of songs at time too. Like, they really have different combinations of different things, and there's definitely at least 1 or 2 tracks almost any hip-hop fan or rock fan would probably like. Almost. I don't want to toot my horn on this, but I really thought this was good here. Would definitely say check this out. Really interesting things they're doing with hip-hop right now, with the rock rap combination with things, really that's coming back. The Limp Bizkit type Korn kind of sound. This does not have near as much rock as those kind of guys, but it's still good, and I was highly entertained and enjoyed it for the most part. Next we got here what I would consider quite possibly the best, and I've heard every Wiz Khalifa mixtape and album and all that crap. This is what I would quite possibly consider the best Wiz Khalifa mixtape album ever, or anything he's done. Taylor, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Allderdice, I don't know if that's right or not, but this was great. I loved this. This had like several great weed tracks on it, really mellow, clever, just a lot of great stuff on this. I really thought this, as a total, as everything that was on this, really it was way better than anything he's ever done. It had his catchy banger that people are going to be listening to, and a song called Guilty Conscience, which I think will be all over the place in a matter of time if it isn't already. And then it just had a bunch of really mellow, cool tracks with just like really good flow and really good production. I would definitely say check this out. Like I said, Wiz Khalifa's really making me a fan. Like, I liked some of his stuff, but really making me more of a fan of him with this. I really enjoyed this. Next we got here another big surprise, in my opinion. What I would consider the best thing that Mac Miller's ever done. Macadelic. A lot of people come on here and they'll talk about hip-hop music, and they'll talk about how the content of music, oh, I just don't like this guy because his content's not good. I don't like this, I don't like that, because he just doesn't talk about good stuff. All he talks about is bitches and money and doing drugs and blah, 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 blah. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what your content is. If you make dope-ass rap music, like, just dope rap music, I don't give a shit what you're talking about. I don't care if you're talking about just biscuits and gravy. It doesn't matter to me. If the songs are dope, they're dope. And this had like 8 just dope rap songs on it, like dope bangers. Like, I really would just listen to over and over and over again, and like in my car. Like, I would, like, they're great. Loud, Ignorant was great. Lucky Ass Bitch. And the thing is, Mac Miller making that kind of, you know, Waka Flocka, Gucci kind of songs, he's a better lyricist than those guys. He's a way better lyricist than those guys, and he's a lot more creative, because there's some extremely creative songs on here. The hooks, some of the hooks on this mixtape were fabulous. Like, the way they were constructed, the production was great. Mac Miller was great at rapping. You know, it almost seemed like he smoked a lot of weed and just made this mixtape. And if that's the case, go on and just keep smoking weed, Mac Miller, because this was the best thing I thought Mac Miller's ever made. And I've never been a Mac Miller fan. Like, I've maybe like 2 of his songs ever. And this, I liked, like, literally almost 80% of this whole thing. Like, I thought this was great. The best thing, like I said, I thought Mac Miller's made, period, since he's started hip-hop music, at least that I've heard. So, that's great stuff there. Definitely, same thing with Wiz Khalifa. You know, I just want to put over the fact that content doesn't always matter, you know? If you make just dope-ass hip-hop music, you don't always have to be talking about, you know, the struggle or Jesus or whatever it is you would consider good content. Like, if it's just dope, it's just dope. Like, that's the way I see it. And finally, the last thing I would say, cop, must cop. Literally, this guy is becoming one of my favorite MCs ever. Like, I love this guy and the way he flows. He always gets with the right producers. He's adding to just a catalog of just more just dope music. Action Bronson and Party Supplies, Blue Chips. This was great. This was absolutely fabulous. I loved everything on this. If you want to hear some dope ass rap music with dope lyrics and just a really awesome, funny music video, look up Hookers at the Point. This music video is freaking hilarious, and the music's great too. But this is up there. I would probably put Wiz Khalifa's probably, the Wiz Khalifa thing is probably in my top 10 right now. Mac Miller's probably in my top 5. Action Bronson's probably in my top 3 as in mixtape albums right now, because, you know, I just thought, like, you know, there really hasn't been that much great stuff come out. From what I remember, you know, the only other 2 things that I remember that I really like so far was Schoolboy Q's Habit and Contradictions, and Chip the Ripper's Tell Your Friends. Those are the only other 2 that I really like so far. You know, so far this year. In March, I've heard 3 albums as of right now, or 3 mixtapes that I would put in my top 10, you know, best things I've heard this year. But this Action Bronson and Party Supplies was great. Just a dope lyricist. His flow is just outrageous good. And Bronson is one of those guys that I'm going to be looking out for a while, because I know he's got some stuff where he's supposed to be doing some more albums with. He's supposed to be doing a mixtape with Alchemist. Oh, I can't wait to hear that. His mixtape with Static Selecta last year, and then Dr. Lecter. I mean, just get the hell out of here. All that shit was great. So I would definitely say pick this up. Probably, even if, like, I would say just for the flow alone, like his flow is just flawless. I would say pick this up. I believe it's free. You can download it for free. Epic, great. Just, and it's really got like a 90s just hip hop flow, just boom bap kind of sound to it. It's really great. So that's my copper drop for March, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think here. You know, like I said, love doing these videos, love hip hop music, and if you're a fan, let me know. Thumbs up if you like, thumbs down if you don't, thumbs down if you don't like me because I'm fat. It doesn't matter, it's whatever, it's YouTube. People are going to call me fat because they feel like it. That's just a random fact, most of you know. But, gonna get out of here and support hip hop. I'm the Mad Scientist, your favorite wrestling shooter and hip hop enthusiast. Deuces.